PayPal stock has dropped 15% in the last few days. Let's see why. And is it still too cheap for what it's worth? So, after earnings, PayPal stock dropped 10% right away. And now it's minus 15% in the last 5 days. I made my first video about PayPal stock, I think in the May 1st, and it's now back to the price that it was. There are many reasons why the stock dropped, so let's look at those reasons. So let's look at Q2 earnings first. How was the earnings? The earnings were fine. The earnings actually beat analyst expectations. There wasn't anything special. Total payment volume up, net revenues up, operating income up, operating margin up, net income up, earnings per diluted share up, and up pretty good. Now the free cash flow was down pretty much. That is something that we need to look at in the future. But before, in Q2 2024, the free cash flow number was extremely good, and I would consider it still as good. But we need to keep an eye on if it doesn't keep dropping. But I'm not worried at all. So earnings per share, here is guidance. Earnings per share, the guidance looks good. The non-GAAP EPS looks not so good, but it's fine. It's fine. The earnings per share for the whole year, yeah, it's nothing special. It's fine. It's a growth company. We could not expect anything surprising here. It's just stable growth after stable growth. So let's look at total operating expenses. As you can see that expenses increased as well. That is partly the reason for free cash flow decrease. But that is absolutely normal. As revenues increases, as the business grows, operating expenses usually grow as well. And for a company like this, that is something expected. But now look at how good the net income was per share. Not only it increased because the business increased, but the reason that I was talking so much about in my first PayPal video, the stock buybacks. Each quarter there's less and less and less shares, and that is another great thing for metrics like income per share. So more reasons. Macroeconomics. We looked at 5-day period, super short-term period. And a period like this, macroeconomics matter. The market was down. The whole market almost was down. And especially financial sector. You can see all shades of red in financial sector. This is for the 1 week period, this graph. So there were other reasons. As I showed you before, the stock was up 20% since May. And for a boring stock like PayPal, 20% is meaningful for some people. For people who focus on short term and who are not patient, they see that they see the earnings, they see, oh, the PayPal stock is not doing anything, it's such a slow grower or whatever. And 20%, I'll take my 20% or whatever, or 15%, I'll take my profits and I move on to the next stock. Usually people like that don't win out in the long term because they lack the patience. But fine, they get their they get their percentage, and they're out of the stock. Another reason, okay, if you really want to say something bad about the earnings specific, Okay, branded transaction volume growth slowed down to 5%. In Q1 it was 6%. Okay, if your whole reason for selling this stock is your whole thesis changes and you sell the stock only for this small reason, then you shouldn't be holding the stock anyways. And yeah, there are some minor tariff concerns, but that is all short term. In the long term it doesn't mean nothing. So we need to look at how is PayPal doing in a big picture. So let me show you quickly one thing. In my last video in the comments I was speaking with one of my subscribers, and he basically brought up an argument that wouldn't the possibilities of being able to pay, for example, for Amazon with crypto take market share away from PayPal, from middlemen like Visa, PayPal, etc. And my thoughts were that actually that is an opportunity for merchants like PayPal and Visa. It for Amazon, for example, it would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare to have accounting for all the crypto things. So it would be much more easy and make sense and be valuable to use somebody like PayPal as a middleman to handle all the crypto digital logistics anyways. And here is an article from this week. PayPal to let US merchants accept payment in more than 100 cryptocurrencies. And this is a great sign that the CEO is on his game, that PayPal is not sleeping at the wheel. They're looking for ways to expand and develop their business. They are doing fine. So here's a little chart I made for their net quarterly revenue starting from 2021, and you can see that PayPal is extremely stable. Usually the Q4 is the biggest quarter. You can see Q2 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and now it's 2025. The growth continues. Everything is on its plan. So the PayPal is growing each year stably. They're not sleeping at the wheel. They're making money. Their profits are great. They're repurchasing the stock. There's less and less of the stock available. And wait for the next grab. Before I quickly will tell you to subscribe if you want to see weekly updates. I make videos every week on PayPal stock, on other stocks. If you like this video, like this video. So here's my idea. The stock is growing each quarter, each year. They're repurchasing the stock. There is no significant risk because PayPal is super stable stock. But the stock price has not been growing for some time now. And what is the conclusion? The stock is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And right now, the stock is so cheap, the price to earnings ratio is 14, that yeah, I could tell that PayPal stock is basically no risk. I mean, it couldn't realistically drop much lower than this because it just doesn't make sense. What could make sense is price to earnings climbing back to the value that it deserves. So I still believe PayPal is extremely good deal. I still expect stable growth with less risk than you could expect for this kind of a stock price, for this kind of a valuation. And I still hold the stock. Now it's only 6% of my portfolio because I hold a lot of AMD stock and it's up massively, I think from April or May. I'm already up 70% on this position. So check out my other videos, subscribe, and like the damn video. Bye.